Views expressed in the videos are my observation, analysis of events, persons based on principles of astrology. It's not my intent to predict, forecast absolute outcomes, only suggest how they may unfold. Nothing is set in stone. I could be wrong, but often I'm right. My desire is not to promote fear, only inform about what we see unfolding. It is our wish to prepare our subscribers for events that could affect them, their family, their goals, and their future, to help to prepare for what you may already suspect is happening, and to send a warning shot across the bow and raise a flag of concern. Our goal is to help, not hinder, in these perilous times, to inspire and offer possible direction, and to reveal that a greater plan and purpose are behind all that is happening. Eventually, we will see a brighter day. If you would like to show your appreciation for our work on these videos or this channel, and also the Knowing Whispers channel, you can always click on the word thanks at the bottom of all the videos. Hello everybody, it's Robert Cosmar of the Astrology of Life YouTube channel, and also the YouTube channel Wisdom for Those Awakening. And today my video is going to be on the sentencing of Donald Trump. Most of you are aware that on the 10th of this month that Judge Merchan is going to have Trump appear before him in some form, whether it's online or actually in the court in New York, and he's going to pass sentencing on him. And what I hope to do in this video today is to give you some kind of a clue about what that actually means. It is already pretty much known that he's not going to sentence him to jail. So the options are interesting in terms of what we can expect, and maybe some of the stuff here in the astrology I'm going to show you will bear witness to that. I'm also going to be using both the Western chart and also the Vedic chart and talk a little bit about both of them. Okay? Now, one of the things I want to say before I begin this particular video, for those of you that are still scratching your head and wondering, how is it that astrologers could have missed Donald Trump being elected president? How is something like this so seemingly logically impossible? And over the past several months, in looking at his chart and considering the various indications in the chart, I've come to the conclusion that it is this very strong Uranus, okay, that is in his 10th house, very close to his midheaven. It's been there for quite a while. And of course, if you know anything about Uranus, it essentially means the unexpected. It also, in a sense, can indicate revolution, okay? And both of those terms, in a way, kind of make references to Donald Trump in terms of what he represents and what he is bringing about and what he could bring about. But a lot of that, I'm sure that you realize, will depend upon America and what America decides to do once he takes office, if in fact he does. Okay, there's a lot of scuttlebutt around about the possibility that something else might occur that would cause that not to happen. So we're going to ponder some of that here in this particular video, okay? But I wanted to bring this out for those of you that have had difficulty in coming to terms with him being elected. This is one of those situations. Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto represents the higher purpose, okay, of the universe in terms of what it wants to see, what its intentions are, okay? And it's left to us to decide how we're going to deal with that. Okay, and there are many possibilities there, but hopefully what this means is that more will awaken and understand that they have a personal responsibility in what is occurring and what could happen, but only time will tell. Okay, now outside of Uranus being conjunct the midheaven, which is kind of his guardian angel or his higher purpose and his mission. If you take a look over here at this aspectarian, this is the inner chart of Trump, and this is the transits as of the 10th. And you'll notice up here, this is the inner chart, okay, which would be Trump's midheaven here, you'll notice that moving down through here, there are no aspects of a hard nature. There's sextiles, there's trines. The only adverse, so to speak, aspect would be Uranus conjuncting the midheaven. Okay? And again, it appears to be that that is his fate and destiny, and that he has been born, he has been who he is, and accomplished what he has accomplished because it was the intent and purpose of the universe for this to happen. Okay? And moving on into the future, what will happen will have a lot to do with how we respond to that. Okay? I did a post this morning over on the Trump and America Substack news publication that I have. There's 3 of them over there. And the title of it was, Hating Trump is Not the Answer. Okay? If we continue to hate Trump, very likely the things which we are concerned or fearful of could actually come to pass. Okay? So we have a decision and we have a choice to make depending upon how we respond to what is happening in respect to Donald Trump. Do we continue the hate parade? Okay? Hate at what he represents, hate at what he does, when the truthfulness is that all the things that are happening are necessary to cause us to address the fear that we have been living under for a very, very long time. Okay? So, as you can see here, the circumstances at that particular day, I don't know exactly what the time is, are favorable for his goals, his career, his profession, the presidency. However, that doesn't mean that he will go untouched. All right? You'll notice over here that Saturn, transiting Saturn, is squaring his moon. Not a very pleasant, more of a depressing influence. And Saturn is squaring Uranus, which means that there are some limitations. There are some challenges in the energy of the Uranus. He won't get away untouched in some way, shape, or form. Okay? When you move down further here to Eris, okay, transiting Eris is squaring both Donald Trump's Venus and also his Saturn. Of course, Eris is one of my favorite planets, or I guess you might call it trans-Neptunian planetary energies, representing strife and discord, that I find to be very fitting in the times that we're living in, because there is so much strife and discord, okay? And fear is what's bringing this to the surface. And of course, strife and discord, Eris squaring his Venus, could cost him money. Squaring Saturn, because it's conjunct Venus, could indicate that the judge may award a significant amount of money, okay, against him for the situation that he has brought upon himself. Okay? You can see also down here that Uranus is squaring Mars. Okay? Uranus will touch this point of Mars one more time, and I think it's in May of 2025. And of course, when this began, he had an assassination attempt. He had one that came close and one that never actually manifested. So it's going to be interesting to see if, in fact, he does take office, whether or not we have another episode, another close call for him sometime in May, okay, of this year. And I know that there is a great deal of anticipation, but again, I want to caution everybody to understand that it is by the ordained, predestined, okay, purposes of our higher self that Donald Trump would be in the position that he's in, because we're talking about something that is much more important than the economy, than the presidency, okay? We're talking about the values that America has seemingly lost touch with. If in fact they ever had those values, it remains to be seen that such a brilliant document as the Constitution of the United States, well, it was very liberal and very much oriented towards respect, seems to be wanting to take another course in the wrong direction if we allow that. Okay? And the question is, well, if something doesn't happen to Donald Trump, what good does it do to us to deal with our fear? Okay? What does that accomplish? Don't we have to vote him out of office? Don't we have to rise up, okay, and do something like that? There may be those that will do that. There may be those that are predestined to do that, okay? But I can say emphatically that's not the answer, okay? That's not the answer. The criminal here, if it's anything, it's our ignorance and our fear that are allowing our imagination and allowing our emotions to rule the decisions that we make, and we don't want that to happen. That would not be the proper outcome. Okay? All right. Neptune squaring the sun here in Donald Trump's chart. Okay? This kind of speaks, I think, to his overall state, his mental state, which is not always really clear and crisp, and obviously he has a lot of strange beliefs in regards to what he feels that we should be doing in America. And by the way, you need to keep in mind that although it's not spoken of in a great detail, there will be resistance to Donald Trump, political and otherwise. And you have to keep in mind that that can slow down a lot of the, quote, boastfulness of what he says he'll do. He always says what he'll do and then always seemingly doesn't do it. So we'll just have to wait and see how that pulls itself out, because his main goal is himself. His main goal is money. His main goal is achieving as much possible power as he can, which will bring into his circle enemies of a different nature and a different character. Okay? So this aspect right here, the Neptune squaring the sun, again, it could have something to do with the actual sentencing of the judge upon Donald Trump. Some kind of restrictive issues that are not anticipated, and of course could create a, throwing sand in the gas tank for his purposes and plans. Okay? You can also see here that Saturn is still in the 7th house, okay, the house of others. And of course Pluto, you can see down here, is about 30 minutes away from going into his 6th house. This will play a big part in what we see happening probably with Donald Trump moving forward. He's, almost close to 80 years old. Pluto's going into the house of, that represents health. One of the things that it represents health. So we could possibly see some things occurring in his health that will be, not conducive to his long-range plans. And we'll just have to wait and see exactly how that manifests itself. Jupiter here is in the 10th house. Okay? And I don't make a whole lot to this Jupiter, even though it's in the 10th house. It can represent opportunities and possibilities, and of course an exalted station, so to speak, like being elected president. But Jupiter is so weak sometimes. It really doesn't show a lot of promise in your chart or by transit, unless it's stationary direct. Okay? Which it's retrograde, but it's not stationary direct right now. So again, that's kind of an iffy situation. All right, let's go over to the Vedic chart. Okay, take a look at it. Of course, this is Donald's Vedic horoscope. Okay, over here. This is the dasas that he's under. He's under the Jupiter-Venus dasa from October the 4th, 2024 to June the 5th, 2027. Okay, and as you know, the dasa systems are like the progressions in Western astrology. His Jupiter is very strong. In fact, it's stationary in his natal chart. Okay, it's one of the reasons why I feel that he's been able to escape a lot of the judiciary type of actions that have taken against him. All right, now as it stands right now on the 10th, There's two significant factors here, okay, that will minimize the impact of what it is that he is to experience. One of those, of course, is that Jupiter is in the 10th house. This is his career, his karmic circumstances, so to speak, his destination, his purpose. Okay, it's retrograde, but that's not necessarily bad. It's also an aspect with the transiting moon, okay, on that date, and it's in the sign of Taurus. We don't know when this is going to occur. I've got it set for 12 a.m. It could be later than that. But the moon is exalted in Taurus and Vedic astrology and is conjunct the moon or Jupiter here in the chart. So in regards to his status moving forward, I don't feel that there'll be a great deal of harm there. The harm may come from the fact of Mars being in Cancer, which is the sign of its detriment, okay, and Ketu being in the second house of wealth or of earnings and things of this nature. All right, and this could indicate that Donald Trump will significantly lose some money in the process of this judgment that the judge is going to place upon him. And again, we'll have to see how he's got that structured so that it could be a hindrance to him moving forward into the presidency, if in fact he is on January the 20th. Okay, Saturn is in the sign that it rules in the 7th house, okay, conjuncting Venus here. So again, here's another indication where finances and money, okay, could take a hit as a result of this situation. Of course, Saturn in that house, the 7th house too, which signifies in a way lawyers and stuff, could indicate, that again, the significant hit to him is going to be the financial aspect of things, and probably nothing much more than that. Okay, so I think that I've covered everything that I saw in the two charts, and I hope that that at least gives you a way to prepare for what you hope will happen. Okay, and again, as I've mentioned in this particular video from the very beginning, even though logically and reasonably it doesn't make maybe sense to you, the enemy in all of this is your fear of what you imagine may happen. Okay, that's the thing. That's the one thing that Donald Trump has done successfully, is to stir up in our imagination all the fear of what could happen. And it is holding on to those fears that very likely could make some of those things happen. Okay, unless we can find a better way within inside of ourselves to deal with that fear and to consciously rise above it to better plans and better purposes for our future. Otherwise, those fears, could be manifested, and it would be in large part because of the fact that we couldn't shake that fear. Okay. All right. For those of you that are members and subscribers and have been with me forever, I thank you so much for being here. The last several weeks, maybe even the last month or so, have been very strange for me. It's been very difficult to keep on a flow, so to speak, of doing charts. And of course, this is time that I realize is time for me to go within and to look deeper in my meditations as to why I feel like I'm put on hold to a certain extent. And it's always tremendously beneficial to do that, even though to other parts of me it's very frustrating not to be able to get back on the horse and to ride, so to speak. So if you wondered why I've slowed down a little bit, that's the reason for it. And I'm beginning to feel a little bit more freedom to do videos now. Now, I will be doing a video on the 20th. Probably my next video will be on the 20th, the inauguration, to try to pinpoint, nail down what could be the circumstances at that particular time. And I'm hoping that that will bring some clarity as to the concerns that we have about what's going to happen on that particular date and what may happen as a result in the future of that. Okay? Keep in mind, for those of you that enjoy the insights that I get from my guidance that used to be on the Knowing Whispers channel, that they are now over on the Wisdom for Those Awakening YouTube channel. Okay? Plus new insights that I've been given. I also post those primarily over on the platform Substack in my 3 publications. They are Knowing Whispers, Messages from the Universe, Trump in America, and Deep Truth Beyond Logic and Imagination. So if you are aware, if you are consciously hungry for insights into all of these things and how they're affecting you spiritually and psychologically, I think that you'll get tremendous insight by joining me over there or by going and subscribing to the other YouTube channel, Wisdom for Those Awakening. Okay, there's some tremendously wonderful insights in there that will help you to navigate through the confusion, the emotions, and the negativity that a lot of this stuff is being brought on us. All right, from the low of my life, CJ, my spiritual partner, my best friend, sometimes my teacher and mentor, I want to thank you all again for your support, and we look forward to staying with you throughout the entire process of the awakening future and whatever the universe may ordain to be needed by us. Okay, have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you for watching. Okay, let's see here.